I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know what we do out here. We don't stop. We can't stop. We got to keep rolling and crushing these books. A big day yesterday. We want to follow it back up and stack more units today. And we got a big night ahead of us here. Yeah, we'll start off with pre-gaming. Then we're going to roll into the live stream. The Celtics will play the Cavaliers for the Battle of Eastern Royalty. That should be a ton of fun. Our friends will be joining us. We'll be live betting all night long. We got 14 NHL games, 9 NBA games, an onslaught of college basketball, and, we'll talk about everything else. And I'm sure the Super Bowl conversation will come into play. Hope you guys are ready to go. You know the deal. We got a lot happening this week, and we released 4 more prop polls this morning for everybody to participate in. The goal, we're going to aggregate these come Friday. We've got a bunch of fun things to do on Friday, getting ready for the Super Bowl. We're going to go through props. We're going to go through sides and totals. We're going to go through teasers. We're going to go through the poll prop results. We're going to go through the prop parlay that we have, a 25-leg prop parlay contest that will pay out up to 10 grand. We're going to look to get that together as a team. We got squares for upgraded members. It's going to be a ton of absolute fun, but a busy week ahead of us. So we've got 2 live streams. We've got a first strike. And if you missed it today, Ramon Scott, who has been running so hot, is working with VB MMA for the UFC contest here, UFC 312 Saturday. They've been firing away. I want to say it's 9-2. I want to say 9-2 to start the first 3 shows of the year. Went through 4 fights today. 4 of them. 4 UFC battles. You know what happens here. They've gone through 4. First strike team will go through 4. That's going to be at least 2/3 of the card, getting you guys ready for that big Saturday night extravaganza. And we'll pop off around 5:30. So we're putting the final details on a new show for Saturday as well. And it's busy. It's always busy. Doesn't it seem like it? Always a lot going on in the world of sports. And frankly, I'd rather it be that way. It gets boring. It gets boring when you're just sitting around complacent and idle. And I know you guys aren't sitting around complacent and idle. I appreciate you coming in, rocking here tonight. Shout out to everybody that's here doing it with us here. We had a decent night last night, all in all. Between the parlay, the 2 parlays really saved the day. I'm trying to find, there it is. There it is. Really saved the day there. We netted about 4 units net. We cashed a Walker Kessler over 10.5 rebounds on the Utah +7 parlay. That was just a little over 2-1, 2 + 213 action. We started off the day with the 328 parlay there, the 3-legger. Who says parlays don't pay? We're firing. Man, I'll tell you what. We were just a smidge away on that Denver Jamal Murray spot out there. He ended with 20 points. That would have been a +131. Just should have gone with Denver. Probably got just a little too cute with it. Did fair in college. UAB, that first half play, they come back to win the first half by 1. So some +2.5s, +3.5s for live betting in that first half. But sadly, we take the L. They won 32-31. We got hit by the hook. Damn hooker. Feisty as they are, but Rio goes easily under for us as well. I say easily. I mean, it was 142 on a 143.5. The Hornets got busted up, 124-114. Them Washington Wizards. Is it time to take them serious? I don't think so. The Predators and the Senators were tied going into that third period. Everything was looking great. We double dipped it. Nashville ends up losing that game 5-2. Probably the favorite part about that game was when the Ottawa Senator goes out there and scores the empty net goal. They flat out body checked him right into the net as a little take that, you scumbag. Let's see. Weber. Our boys in Weber State back and trotting for us. And the Memphis Grizz get the job done. -2.5. Easy casher, 128-109. That line movement was crappy and then some, but we caught it. OKC Thunder destroyed the Milwaukee Bucks, -15.5. And they went out there and won by about a 30, Pat. So that's the way it goes. We cast a wide net. We hope to come through. A couple of those double, just in hindsight, the double dip spot hurt us with Nashville. Obviously, they lost. That's never going to be a good thing. And 2 points away on Jamal Murray from having a monster day. So very important to look at. His point total is 20. I think it's like 20.8 in the NBA. And his number was at 21.5. So, yeah, I guess we were asking him to do a little bit more than maybe expected, and they beat them boys up. So I guess they just didn't need him. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. Something pretty interesting I wanted to show you guys. A couple of you have reached out and asked me about it. So we'll get to the business here. We got a hard stop here at 7 because we got to pop back live at 7:15, bring the crew in and talk about their bets for the evening. Again, we're going to focus on the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a TNT special. We got a double TNT header tonight. But we'll be talking about all kinds of bets. We got all kinds of sports going on tonight. So it should be a ton of fun. But we got to make room for the squad to get here. But, I know a couple of you guys had asked me, and I thought tonight might be a night to kind of take a look at this thing. So what we're going to take, what I do here? We're going to take a look at, real simple. I've talked several times about this Grand Salami formula. And I thought it was prudent that we take a look at it tonight because, well, frankly, we're starting to see a ton of 5.5s on the card. And this is where we can potentially attack. So just as a flyer, I'm just taking a little stab, just a small sprinkle on the under in the Grand Salami tonight. If you guys don't know what the Grand Salami is, it is total number of goals scored in the league for the evening. So pretty cool thing to kind of look at overall, just taking all the goals from all the games, firing them all together, and then seeing what it is that you can come up with for a total. And I've talked about it before. We'll call this a little pre-gaming science experience. Maybe it should be a sports money science experiment. Hopefully you guys can see this, but look, it's pretty simple. And when we see a lot of 5.5s, I kind of want to see how this does here. So don't go crazy. This is just a little fun bet, little pizza money as they call it. But this is the way it works. You got 14 games in the NHL tonight. You take the 5.5. Now, this is a couple years ago before the rule change. But as we're starting to see the underseason prevail in the NHL with all these 5.5s on the card, I thought, why not just take a look at it? Let's just measure how it does for a couple of bucks. So you got 5.5 goals. You take 14 times 5.5. Why 5.5? That was the league average. I got to look and see how it does now with probably seeing the league average around 6.5 now, but it was 14 times your league average of 5.5. Gives you 77 goals. Well, the salami is 83.5. So when your average number comes up below the salami number that's out there for the day, you take the under, and the under is plus 101. Now, if this was like an 87, then we would take the over, 83.5. 83.5 on 87. The salami number's under the expected goals total. That would mean you take the over at minus 125. Believe you not, this formula busted out almost a 70% winner for 3 straight seasons. Unbelievable the way it turned out. I thought I'd share it tonight because I'm going to take a shot here with the under 83.5 at plus 101. I'm just going to drop a bill on it, see what happens. Nothing crazy, nothing extravagant, just a little fun spot to keep your eyes on. And look, it's not just about shooting from the hip and talking about what they did yesterday. There are some opportunities to leverage science to our advantage here. And again, just kind of following the formula, 14, 5.5, 77 goals. The salami's 83.5. So we take the under 83.5. And we're going to get it at plus money price tag. So just a fun little spot to take a peek at if anybody hasn't seen that before. That formula has been working like gangbusters. Grand Salami. It sounds like an order from Jersey Mike's. It's been fun. Like I said, it cashed at about a 70% rate for 3 straight seasons. But, the NHL spent a lot of time and effort focusing on scoring, getting more goals on the board, trying to make the game more fun, much like baseball trying to use juice balls. They don't have juice pucks. But what they did is they changed the size of the goals. They increased the size of the goals. They decreased the size of the goalie pads. They changed some of the rules around the goalie crease and where the goalie can and cannot get involved. They've got those little slash marks behind the net. Goalie can't go out beyond those. If they do, it's going to slow the clock down as they potentially stick handle and let the players break out to the other end. And then what happens is they end up taking a penalty. So that penalty is going to, again, encourage more goals because you have special teams. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Dale Fick says, where you find it at? Dale Fick, I've been doing this a long time. And yeah, this probably goes back 15 years ago. 15 years we were running this thing solid for a good 8 to 9 years. And then they changed. The rules changed this past couple of years, and we started seeing 6.5s and even some 7s out there. So again, tonight I thought, we'll see what happens. It's not a crazy bet, it's just a bill. Drop a good old hundo on that thing to see if we can get some cash. But hey, with all these 5.5s on the board, I talked about it a couple of times now. I thought, it's only right to share with you guys how that formula worked out. And we'll see. Maybe with 5.5s creeping back in, we're getting into the under season of hockey. Maybe we can sneak a couple of those in there. But that was a significant margin, 6.5. As time prevails, it's a little different now because there's a lot of West Coast hockey teams. But you used to be Grand Salami had two factors. They had the total. They also had the side, the home team versus the away team. And so the home team versus away team formula basically went down. They used to have the goals as well, plus 1.5s or plus 2.5s. So if the home team's goals were plus 2.5, and there was one island spot not even one island spot, but one late night spot in the NHL, well, you could roll through it and see if the home team was crushing and they're plus 1.5, and they add up and they're up 5 or 6 goals combined between, the net margin between all those games. Well, then you would take the away team for that last game. Again, another 65% trend that cashed and cashed and cashed. I'll tell you tonight, and maybe my books just changed this a little bit. The away goals in the Grand Salami market are minus 175. How do you use that information when you're capping? Another tool to leverage out there is book information. We talk about line reading now and trying to look at cash flow and splits and where the big bets are coming in. Guess what that says? The away teams are going to bludgeon home teams tonight. They're going to bludgeon them. It's minus 175. Away teams are going to kick the piss out of home teams. So, with that being said, if we get to the late night games and the home teams are dominating the road teams, guess what we're going to do on those late night games? We're going to at least look at those road teams and try to see if there's an opportunity for them to get cash. So, different angle. I don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have ever seen that or heard that. I'm going to speculate that most of us haven't. Probably most of us have not. And that's okay. That's what we're here for, is to help, develop. We want to give you guys the tools and technology to make informed betting decisions. And man, especially when you saw like the plus 2.5. So like I wouldn't bet that pregame, but I would use that as a weather vane for the late night spots there. Sometimes you would see, home teams getting that plus 1.5 and they're up 8 goals combined going into that last game. It was a no sweat bet for the road team to go out there and get that money for us because the books are benchmarking everything. Their formulas, their algorithms are showing them exactly where that, not exactly, but a good litmus test as to where those games are going to end. And sometimes that was just free money. So we want to get our hands on as much free money as we can. We're going to try that little salami factor tonight and see what it does. I'm going to try lifting this keyboard here tonight to see if you don't have to look at my shiny dome piece. But as AOD said, it's a nice dome piece. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys all for coming in. Make sure you take the time. Now's the time of that show. We need everybody's help to grow. 2 things we need some help with here today, this week. One, of course, is the thumbs up button. Morning Steam with Ramon Scott. Pregaming, our live sweats. You guys do a great job on the live betting shows. A little slack here on these shows, and that's okay. Some of you guys are just driving home from work. That's fine. Put us on. Keep us hands-free and get yourselves home so you can place these bets. But when you get home, smash that damn thumbs up button for us kindly. We appreciate that. And, of course, the second thing this week are the polls. The polls in the community tab. We talked about this before. We've got 8 of them out there for this week now, relevant to the Super Bowl. And as Joe T posted the other day, I think it was 60 and 19, the community tab is flying around producing winners. So it's called Post now. I showed you guys yesterday. It's not the community tab anymore. It's called Posts. You go onto our home screen, look for Post, drop it open. You'll see a whole bunch of them. In fact, In fact, I'll take just one more second. I'm sure most of you guys are versed in this now, but we get a lot of new viewers on a regular basis. We don't want them to miss out as well because there's tons of stuff happening out there, tons of free plays happening out there, tons of write-ups, tons of content that's happening out there. But essentially, what happens is you do this. Well, let me put this over here. Let me put this over here. Let me put this over there. Let me give this a click. I hate with my head being down. I hate that. Hate that, hate that, hate that. Here you go. Here's what we're looking at. Home, videos, shorts, live, playlist, and then posts. There it is, the post tab. You give it a click. Come on down. Look, premium members today. Here's a little sneak peek for everybody else. Take a look at this under for the Marquette 148. Here's the polls. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes to record 15 or more passing yards in each quarter. The yes is the prevailing number right now. They're minus 110 on both sides. 14 votes. Only 14 votes. I know this stuff went out there at 7 a.m., but hey, it's okay. 5 thumbs up. One of them's mine. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes to combine for 7+ passing and rushing touchdowns. No is the prevailing number here. Pretty close. Only 11 votes. We want to see some votes in there. You guys have done a great job in the past with those, so we want to make sure that we capitalize on those opportunities. And, from there, we'll see where it goes. But you'll see plays that are developed out there. There was the sub club yesterday, West Ham and the over. Here was that parlay for the premium members, plus 330. Silver and gold plays, all found simply on the post tab. Who knew it was there? I'll tell you, most people don't know it's there. Every time we talk about it, they're like, I didn't even know that was there. Now you know. And it's time to show the bookies exactly what we do with that information. So, again, the game plan is Friday. Getting a show together for you guys. Lots of things to cover in that show. God, I'm gonna have to change this to. I'm gonna have to change this. I'm not gonna do it right now. You're gonna have to look at my dome piece for the rest of the show. But it bothers me. I gotta figure something out. Speaking of figuring it out, I couldn't stop firing on this card tonight. Quite a lengthy. No, I guess it's not that much more than you. Quite a few hockey plays. Opened up pretty wide in the NHL, so I'm excited to talk to you guys about that. I just added a play too. Late. So Florida, Washington will be a game that we cover. Edmonton and St. Louis. We're going to take a look at Montreal and San Jose. We've got the Philadelphia Flyers and the Utah Hockey Club, I guess. And then we added an added play straight from the fade list, Columbus and Buffalo, and all signs point to this being a great spot. So we will hit those hard. Then we will roll into college basketball because one of these games starts at 7 o'clock, so we got to get moving. Kentucky and Ole Miss will be firing off. That's the 7 p.m. spot. Oak State and Houston in college hoops. Then we've got 2 NBA plays. Both of them are the TNT spot. Plenty of more action. Just want to see how lineups develop throughout the evening for the NBA. So that's where the live stream is going to come in. That's where we do it best anyways. We'll have Boston and Cleveland. Big battle for the crown in the East. And then the crown of LA. We got the battle of LA with the Clippers and the Lakers. Lots of moving parts on that Lakers team. I don't expect any of them will be ready tonight, so we'll talk about that. And then last but not least, the NBA parlay. It's a 2-to-1er. Just a little 2-to-1er. But hey, we've been doing well with these parlays, and that's how we want to keep firing. So appreciate you guys rocking with us here. Shout out to Old E. He's gifted a sports money membership to kick us off and bless our action, brother. Cheers. You guys know the deal. The core are building this community. It's our community. That's why we're trying to put this stuff together and put these polls out there, because you guys are sharp as a tack. And we'll put the content together to help everybody bring it in. This community is helping each other grow, not just as members in the sports money community, but hey, putting plays out there, giving best bets, putting insight. Again, those polls when it comes to sides and totals, spitting out winners like a 2-to-1 ratio. And those are the numbers that we want to have when we start making our bets, because then we know, hey, we got a really better than average opportunity. When they say that everybody's on it, that doesn't relate to this group. This group is sharp as a tack. So shout out to you, Old E, my brother. We'll see you tonight and have some fun. Okay, time of the show, boys and girls. Smack that thumbs up. You do that by closing the chat. You'll see that little thumbs up. You hit it. Then you pop open the chat. Then we go to work. All right, Alrighty. Then get the pens and paper ready. You know the deal. I just talked about this chat. The best damn chat in the business assembles here. They're ready to fire, and they're going to share their best bets. So you're going to want to write these down. Trends, angles, sides, later opportunities, maybe some circle spots that come up for a day or two down the road. You never know what you're going to see here, but you're going to want to have your notepad ready. My notepad is now underneath my laptop, so I'll make do. I got to have my pen and paper ready. I tell you guys to do it. I better do it. Practice what you preach. Mikey money. Okay, let's do just that. Get those best bets in the chat, and let's get to work, you guys. Our commenter numero uno, the developer, the coordinator, the keeper of the community post, Joe T. Jover. Likes himself some Wisconsin and an over. He's going with a little same game parlay here at plus 151. Jover giving us an over, but he's tying it to them Badgers. Shout out to Daddy Beats. Gerald Jones coming in 4-2 after a point loss last night. That happens. Do this on the daily, man. The number we're looking for is 60%, right? Getting over 60% going to mean you are cashing bets. And you're right there. And he's going to the over. In Miami, Ohio, Central Michigan. I like it. Futon Betts getting involved with some Nick Claxton action in his life. He's going over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Shout out to Spoon Betts. J Main, Oldie, Stop Geoengineering's here. He's rocking. He says, let's get it, y'all. Always good luck to everyone here. Locked on. Kalel Ware, over 13.5 points at minus 120. He's averaging 16 plus points per game when getting 20 plus minutes. There we go. That's what we're looking for. The guy's average, the total's below his average, and he's getting minutes. That's the formula, Stop Geoengineer. Thank you very much for sharing with us. I will take note. Where are you going? You're going to my bankroll. TJ Hardy says, hit the like. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Irish Kings in the house. Sharon Pulliam's here. Ready to go. Give him the chat fam a shout out. Irish King says, too much bags on the Jets. They had to change goalies. Oh, man. We got a ton of hockey. There's so much that I don't have time to give it all to you guys here. So you better show up for the live show. Barry's in the house. Ramon talking about my salami. The grand salami. Robert McCormick's here. No. Lunch today was a sausage tortellini soup. Sausage tortellini soup season, man. That's how you stay healthy. That's how you kick. You got to keep the immune system boosted. And nothing like a little chicken broth in there to help heat things up. Dale Fixes where you find it. I think I showed you. Heat's appreciating the grand salami tutorial. We'll see if it works. We'll see. I haven't looked at it because they started shooting. It just kind of got cold with all those 6.5. So we'll see. Jake Peasy's in the house. I'm on two road teams tonight. He likes the Avs and the Habs. The Avs and the Habs for Jay Peasy. And Sub says he likes a fair number of away dogs. It's a nice little litmus test. I'll tell you what, I still look at it in the morning. Just like where do the books, who do they think are going to win more? Road teams or home teams? You know, now some of those games might be like you're looking at Edmonton playing St. Louis. And if Edmonton goes out there and slaps them boys up 8-1, then it's gonna skew the road team numbers just a little bit. But we'll talk about that game. I don't think that's going to happen. DJ Hardy's put the one in there. Appreciate him. Nicholas Handy likes the Blue Jackets tonight. Okay. DJ Hardy says he used to bet it all the time. It was great, wasn't it? All right. There's a little validation. There's a little proof source from our guy, DJ Hardy. I think he's on the number 4 scumbag position. I haven't looked at the poll lately, but we appreciate DJ Hardy rocking with us. There's Chris Sala. Says, drill, baby, drill. The J says, want to bet Purdue, but saw 96% of the tickets on them and the line moved back. I saw that too. Everybody likes Purdue tonight. I don't know. Shout out to Philly Eagle Flyer says, on an Avs, Habs, Stars, lay. Stop Geo says, NHL over that. Hit that like button. Maybe I was, I don't know what I was doing. Rick J says, Iowa and Northwestern both lost their leading score for the rest of the season. I like the Northwestern under. Spoon Bets. I'm working on a spreadsheet with win percentage on conference play in college basketball. I believe any A10 home teams are due for regression. 2 candidates tonight to do it. St. Bonaventure and St. Louis. It's interesting because St. Bonaventure went through that slump. I've been banging away on unders in those St. Bonnie's games. It's been pretty profitable for me. Andrew G says, damn, I'm going to check it out now. Thanks. Daddy Beat says, Flyers, Panthers, Avalanche, Wild, Sabres, Winnipeg Jets, all money line. Golden Knights minus 1.5 plus 1. Oh, plus 1891 to 1. There's a lot of numbers in there. Good for you, Daddy Beats. We'll be rooting you on. Oldie says, Spoon Bets, lay it on us. I agree fully. My favorite time of the season for numbers. Meat of conference play. Love it. We are at that point. We're also at that point where you're going to hear people talking about how bad college basketball is and they can't wait for baseball season. Keep your eyes on those people. Those are people you want to fade when it comes to sports betting in a general philosophy. Joseph Alvarado's here. T. Moss is back in the house. He's ready to go. Yeah, Andrew G says he likes the polls. They're cool. It gives you an idea of what the community thinks. I agree. Shout out to all you guys. Spoon Bets action here. Just guy looking for angles. Here's my card. Marquette plus 3. St. Louis money line. Miami of Ohio money line. Bonnets plus 2.5. Joe W. Peter Gracia is here. Nick's in the house. Likes the Columbus Blue Jackets money line. All right. Jay Main says Dave Brooks under 12.5 points. Look at this guy here, rocking and rolling. And there he is. Razor Sharp Picks. Whoops. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming in. Man has been busting up YouTube and Kick if you guys haven't been seeing what's happening this week. Hey, your boy dropped in there. Yeah, stats, baby. 38 to 1 hitter at Saratoga Harness. 1 hit, 1 shot, 1 kill. But it's always good to see my guy, Razor Sharp Picks. Bumboats, do you have a Discord? Razor Sharp Picks does. Peter Gracia says, hit the like. First thing to do. Daddy Beat says, first to score Embiid, Porzingis, plus 40, 57. I like those little flyer bets. Dana Dub, Purdue, minus 6.5. Likes Wisconsin, but the line keeps dropping. Ron Lofton's here. Let's go. Nasty Nate says 50 likes Razor, so it's shot time. Irish King likes the Bees money line and Pasta anytime goal. Celtics trifecta for Nasty Nate, and he's adding the second quarter. Oh, man, look at you guys rocking. Damon Warren, good luck. I was 1 game off of me too. Yeah, it was the Hornets. I had plus 3.5. They lost by 5. Those dirty dogs. Robert McCormick's adding Arkansas Pine Bluff plus 10.5. Irish King likes Pitt money line, and Sid the kid, who's no longer Sid the middle-aged man. Anytime goal. All right, we got to move. You guys know the deal. Lots to do. It's so great to come in here and all of a sudden the like button's smashed and all the polls have been filled out, but we want to get that numbers together for you guys because when you guys take the time to do that and when you take the time to click the button, the results speak for themselves. It doesn't mean that if you're on the other side that, you're an asshole. It just means you're on the wrong side because the chat saw it differently. And that's what we do. We work together. Put your poll in. Come back a couple days later and see what it looks like out there. That's how we get paid. Start this puppy off with the Florida Panthers and the Washington Capitals and the Florida Panthers. Here's a turn the plane away from the public. I don't know about the public, but look, everybody likes themselves some Logan Thompson. I get it. He's 23-2-4 with a 2.22 goals against average and 92.4% save percentage. Here's where art and science intersect each other. Because the Florida Panthers just came off the White House visit. They got to go see President Trump. They got to have a little sauce. They got to have some fun with each other. They got pictures taken. They're talking golf. The president's asking who's the best golfer. Lindell got tons of accolades and recognition. 22 years old. Clobbering everything in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. And away they go. They've got Sergei Bobrovsky firing off in net. And he ain't no slouch at 22-11-2. Now, he does have a 2.84 goals against average, a 90.2% save percentage, but the problem is the Florida Panthers keep scoring. They're at that point of the season. You get these Stanley Cup contenders, they don't really give a shit about October and November. That's why the Flyers seem to do so well, because they know they're not a Stanley Cup playoff team. So they kind of go out there and they fire when everybody else is trying to coordinate, get their 4 lines deep, get all their players racing in the right direction. Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champs. Multiple opportunities in the Stanley Cup. have gone out and they took down the President's Cup trophy winners in the Boston Bruins. I mean, these guys are built for the playoffs, and they're starting to find their form. 14-4 in their last 3 games. That being said, as I mentioned, obviously, Washington and Logan Thompson. Oh, man, what's going on here? And Logan Thompson, what's going on? What is going on? Did I screw this up? Did I screw this up? Boy, I was rolling. I thought I was rolling. All right, we're back to rolling. We're back to rolling. Logan Thompson has been firing as well. I get it. This is where everybody likes some Logan Thompson action. Maybe I'm the victim of having found a new fade. I've said it before. I don't like to hear anybody else's breakdowns, but god damn, the fade report's 5-0-1 in the last 6. And I'm going to take the over in this game here for a couple of reasons. One, I get it. Logan Thompson, Bobrovsky. You got a team in Florida Panthers getting ready to roll. They're feeling good. The chemistry, the morale, the high fives with the president, all those things for those 21, 22-year-old guys. Big stuff, big deal out there. But not just trying to handicap the emotional attitude or headspace of these players. Let's put some data behind it. Let's do that science. When the Panthers are on the road and they're facing a team who averages 3.5 or more goals, as are the Washington Capitals, and they get a total between 5 and 6, the over's almost unbeaten at 13-2-2. 13-2-2. We got a 5.5. We got a 5.5, and we got a low vig on the 5.5. So yeah, when you're facing a team on the road with a low total, and the home team likes to score, Florida Panthers reciprocate. They'll match you blow for blow, and they are in playoff form, feeling damn good. We're going to take the Florida Panthers game number 1 of the NHL card. I know it's not popular, and I see these guys sitting over there underneath the old Mr. Poopy. Maybe that means it's good. Maybe that means Florida does go out there and score a few goals. I think Florida wins this game on top of that. But that's a side note. Shout out to Dana Delp. I see the $4.99 dono. My brother cooking things up for us. We are viewer supported, so we very much appreciate that, my dude. Thank you all for being here. Dana Delp rocking with us. Thomas Maggio's here. He likes the Lightning and Vegas tonight. Cheers, Dana Delp. Cheers to you, my friend. You got it, man. You got it, dude. You guys know the deal. We're doing a little Super Bowl Square. Little Super Bowl Square contest here for some merch from the Sports Money family for you guys. We'll talk more about that on Friday for sure, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait to spend some time talking this big game. I've been trying to sit patiently by. I got one for you. I heard it today. And I mean, this might be the man. This might be the godfather of the SDQL. I'm not sure, but man, get me sidetracked here. I'll tell you all about it. What happens when you got a team that's in the first round bye of the playoffs facing a team that doesn't have a bye for the Super Bowl? Kansas City had a first round bye. The Eagles did not. Why do you think I'm bringing it up? Because Kansas City's 0-10 in that spot. That's an 0-10 spot. We'll talk more. I got all kinds of trends. Now, yeah, I'm going to try not to be biased. That's why we're going to bring some guests on to talk about that. But, I'm not. There's no way I'll take Kansas City. I'll own it. I'll take that out. I'll take the lump right to the side of the head if I have to. All right, game number 2 I'm involved with here. I don't have a graphic for it, but I'm going to give it to you guys right quick here. It does come off the Fade Report. That's my newest best friend. Columbus Blue Jackets and the Buffalo Sabres. We got Elvis Merzlikins going in goal, and we've got James Reimer. Who's James Reimer? Well, he's won 6-1. He's 3.05 goals against average. I don't know if that's entirely who he is. He did play about a week and a half ago against Edmonton. Performed admirably, 31 saves on 34 shots. Still a 3-pack that the Edmonton Oilers got in there, and that's what's important about this game. As we look on the other side, well, 2 things before I move off of that. There's a couple injuries on the Columbus Blue Jackets side of things. There's no doubt about it. But that brings in some youth. Zach Werenski's got the lower body injury. Marchenko gets a busted jaw. I don't think they're going to the playoffs. I think he's done for the season. That thing is split like a hog. That being said, the Blue Jackets just faltered. Just a small falter out there Merzlikins gives up 5 goals on 39 shots to the Dallas Stars. It was the Dallas Stars, with all due respect. Playoff team in their own right. But solid guy, 91.5% save percentage in his last 9 games is good to be 7-2. Tage Thompson. Who's he? Probably the most prolific guy on the Buffalo Sabres. And what happened? They got beat up. Not only did he get beat up, I don't know if you guys saw it. None of his players did anything. They just sat there watching your number one dude get slapped around. We talked about Rob Ray on Friday, the enforcer, the guy that you would send out there when your star guy gets beat up, and then he beats you up. There's none of that with Buffalo. There's no heart in this team whatsoever. But the spot that I had to jump into here was pretty straightforward. Team total. And I'm looking for goals. I'm going to try to capitalize on the fact that, first of all, I think this is an over spot. We got some definite over trends for this Columbus and Buffalo team. Now, you never want to count on goals from Buffalo. But I know with James Reimer in net, and I know we got the fade report in our corner, I want to get involved with Columbus, and I want to take that team total over 2.5. I got it at low juice as well. It was like a minus 130 spot out there for the Columbus team total over 2.5. Little extra play. Snuck one in there in the NHL, but we got to move. We got to keep this thing up. Always lose time. Jesus, we're losing time. All right. Edmonton Oilers, St. Louis Blues. As we look at this game here, we got ourselves maybe a little playoff battle. Unconfirmed on the Edmonton Oilers side of things, but it does look like it's Stuart Skinner. And on the other side of things, St. Louis Blues will go to Jordan Bennington. Now, the Blues just had a game snapped as well. They had a 4-game losing streak. Bennington saves 24 of 25 shots. They beat the Utah Hockey Club. Relax. That's one of the worst teams at home. They're not scoring. We'll talk about them in their due course. That being said, trying to improve, trying to get to himself back in that position out there. And look, the Edmonton Oilers should kick the absolute dog piss out of this St. Louis Blues team. I'm not mad at anybody that wants to take a run at that puck line. You can't take the money line. It's just priced to the wazoo, but you can get yourself a puck line. I think it was around plus 145 earlier today. But the spot that I looked at here had to be a total. Yeah, you know what I talked about. I gave you guys the sneak peek earlier today. It's under season in the NHL, and we got to take advantage. Why? For 2 reasons. One, when we look at these teams, St. Louis Blues, I talk about the Yeti. I dog on the Yeti. No pun intended with the Arizona Coyotes. They stuck it. They are the worst offensive team at home in the NHL, period. They average 2.52 goals per game. They've only got 10 goals in their last 5 home games. Do the math. 5 goes into 10 2 times. That means they're scoring 2 goals. They're averaging 2.52 goals a game at home. They're averaging 2 in their last 5 games, so smaller, micro, dialed-in sample. The Oilers are only allowing 2.74 goals to the opposing team when they're on the road. They're playing NHL hockey. They're playing defensive orient. They're just beating teams up. They're controlling the puck. They got a lot of flash and a lot of dash. And look at this. The Blues, they've gone under in 17 of 25 games. No chance we get to 7 in this game here. I don't say no chance, but I feel damn good about under 6.5. So we'll take that play. We will move on. We will roll on here. I'm a little out of order. Montreal, La Habitants, and the San Jose Shitbags. I mean, the San Jose Sharks will take to the ice. I hate this website. Come on. Montaball's going on the Montreal Canadian side of things. Canadians have lost 5 straight games. They're 0-4-1 in those 5. And Montaball allowed 3 goals on 22 shots in his last game to the Anaheim Ducks. Be an interesting move here because, the Sharks also just get rid of, I can't believe it, Mikael Granlund. He's their leading scorer. And on top of that, the Sharks are going to Alexander Gorgiev. The Sharks have lost 7 of their last 8. They're 1-7. I have personal belief in this game. I have personal belief, and I'm sorry that Ramon Scott has to hear this. Ramon, close your ears. Close your ears. Montreal peaked, and they peaked way too damn early. San Jose is 0-10, are 0-10 on home lines where they're not ginormous dogs. Less than a plus 275. If they had multiple power plays the previous game. I like to fade teams when we get to that double-digit spot. It's hard to go 10 in a row. Shit, we just lost that 20 in a row. That was an impressive loss. But on the other side of things here, let's look at why we should fade this Montreal Canadiens. Hey, when your total margin of goals is less than 0.44 on the average, so you're not scoring as much as the league over-under permits, your opponent just scored 2 or more goals, you come off a home loss, you're 1-14 in those spots. You got to take that home loss on the road and you're not scoring goals. Doesn't lead to a positive outcome. In fact, it's 3-12 to the under because you're not scoring goals. You're not living up to your end of the bargain. Should be a lower scoring game for sure. But that goes without saying. Now, some people will talk about the goaltenders in the battle. I just want to make sure I have the right goaltender in here. I hesitant to refresh this thing, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't care. Frankly, I don't care who's in that for the Sharks. If it's not Gorgiev, it's even better. Give me the Sharks. Give me this plus money price tag. We're going to fade the Canadiens. 1, I think they peaked too early. 2, they're in a spot where they just took that loss on the road. And 3, we got the Sharks in double-digit territory. You know what happens when you trade the star player? Yeah, there might be some angst in the locker room. But there's also hope and optimism for those other players because now they get to be on the starting line. Now they get to play on power play 1. Now they get to play on power play 2. And while there might be, look, you're already rock fucking bottom. How much lower can it go? And you trade the star player away, those other guys might be thinking, I want to get traded. We got a week and a half till the Four Nations Cup. There's going to be some talk in the press boxes with the owners about moving players around. You know they're going to come out there, they're going to strike, they're going to do the best they can to show the NHL they're not worthless piles of dog shit. And they're going to want to go out there and find a W. We got a plus price tag on this game at plus 155. We're going to take the San Jose Sharks, fade them, ride those trends. We'll keep them moving. And then the last game in the end, I know it's a big NHL card. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. NHL's our specialty. That's where we do it best, and we are not going to quit tonight. Not with a 14-game slate, plus a whole bunch of other games that we'll be live betting where we've got angles and trends that just didn't quite make the card. Love the spots, just not enough to give them out to you guys just yet. But we'll go Flyers and Utah Hockey Club. And speaking of rock bottom, these Philadelphia Flyers just set a franchise record. No Flyers team has ever been shut out 3 times in a row in the regular season. And here are them Philadelphia Flyers. Boy, let me tip my hat. If you get shut out, I think you come back and score. If you get shut out twice in a row, I think you're well due to score. And if you get shut out 3 times in a row, it ain't happening a 4th time. And I tip my hat because I said Utah stinks at home. St. Louis is the worst team at home. Utah can't be that far behind it. Eriksson, the best goalie the Flyers have, got appointed to Team Sweden for the Four Nations Cup. He's feeling pretty damn good about himself. He's 15-10-2. He's got a .284 goals against average and 89.2% save percentage. Flyers have been outscored 10-0 in 3 games. Unbelievable. But Eriksson did play well. 20 of 22 saves in his previous game. It was a 2-0 loss to the Avalanche, but that's the Avalanche that have been smashing teams. And you got the stronger goaltender, regardless of how you feel about Karl Vejmelka. I think Sam Ersson is the guy here to go out there and fire away. Utah, 2 or fewer goals in 5 straight games. I'm not just speaking from my heart. Fuck the Utah Hockey Club. They're 0-3-2. They're not scoring 2 or fewer goals in 5 straight. And you got Sammy Ersson, his record might not show it, but there's only going to be 4 starting goaltenders in this Four Nations Cup, and he's one of them. Vejmelka's 11-14-4. He's got a 2.48 goals against average. He's got a 91.1% save percentage. 5 straight losses for the Utah Mammoth. They're struggling. Vejmelka's allowed 3 or more goals in 4 of his last 5. No chance whatsoever. We'll keep it moving. We'll move this thing briskly across the finish line. We're going to take another dog. And keep in mind, I talked about this. I tipped the hat when I gave you guys the talk about the minus 175 was the money line for the away teams in the Salami. Flyers are a road team. Utah Yeti aren't scoring. Neither have the Flyers for that matter. Not only are they due, I think it's a good opportunity for us to take advantage. I also got a number for you. We'll put some, we put numbers behind this stuff. Utah in the home favorite role after scoring 3 or more goals are 0-8 as home favorites. So when it comes down to it, we got to sell on the Utah Yeti. We got to buy We got to buy on the Philadelphia Flyers simply because Can't get any worse. San Jose Sharks theory. This is a 7 p.m. game that pops off in the college basketball arena. We're going to move briskly through this because we are way behind. Lots of hockey action, though. You guys know that's where we do it best. We got a spot here with Kentucky and Ole Miss. And what we're looking at here with this game, again, 7 p.m. start. Let me pull it up. Look at my shiny dome. Where'd it go? Fuck. It's tough when you got all these games and you pass it. When you pass it, then you're going to go back. There it is. This line opened at 2.5, and the line has moved to +5. It's even 5.5 in some books out there. Now I know the public loves their road dogs. 91% of the bets, 85% of the cash on Kentucky. Line's moving up, even though we got 69% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the under. It's moving on up 3 points to the over-expecting points out there, which I love to correlate with the dog. Just to pick up some time. Look, we can talk about who they played and everything else, or you can just hear some numbers. And I'll just share some numbers as we keep this thing rolling. Kentucky, as a 3-pointer bigger dog, stop dogging them. They're 12-0 against the spread. They're 11-1 outright in those spots. This line has moved up to a 5.5. Ole Miss stinks against ranked opponents. I think they're 1-20 or 1-21 against ranked opponents. Ole Miss stinks against quality opponents. Kentucky's coming in this thing firing up, feeling good. And I think that's bad news for this Ole Miss team. So I'm going to take the points. I know the public loves their road dogs here, but I do agree with them in this case. I think the wrong team's favored. I love to come in here and give you guys some stats around the wrong team being favored. Look, Ole Miss big victory was beating up Texas, 72-69. They're 6-point favorites at home. Yeah, they won, but they didn't cover. Then they get busted up by Auburn at home. And look, Kentucky, they beat Tennessee, one of the better teams in the SEC. Then they lose to Arkansas. The Pigs busted them up, 89-79 as 8.5-point favorites. They've been sitting around tasting that defeat for the last 3 days here. I think they bounce back. They get it done for us. We're going to ride that 12-0 trend. And then the last spot I got in college hoops for you guys. I got to go back to Old Faithful. Whoops. There it is. There's Old Faithful. We're looking at this Houston game. This one pops off at, I believe it's 8. Let me see. 8 p.m. Oak State is going to get absolutely slaughtered here in my estimation, especially with Houston coming off that loss. The line's been at 22, and it's kind of been sitting there. 75% of the bets and 88% of the cash. Just going to lay that wood. That is a lot of wood. Woo! The total's coming down from 132 to 130s with 71% of the bets and 62% of the cash on the over. And yet, down it comes. Why? Well, Oklahoma State's 11-10, as you can see. Well, you can't see. But they stink in conference play. They're sitting there at 3-7. And Houston, number 5 in the nation, battling for number 1 in your hearts. And if they can cash this under, they will comfortably retain that role in my heart. They just lost Texas Tech 82-81 at home. Was that a Saturday game, if I'm not mistaken? And we see Oak State coming off of a win against Utah, 81-72. That game soared over the number. Prior to that, they had back-to-back unders, junders, and bottom line, Houston. Daddy's little moneymaker here to the under. They're 11-0 to the under when they have less than 7 days rest, a total that's over 128.5, and they allowed over 72 points the previous game. Total higher than their mark because you're ultimately buying low because they just shit the bed and allowed over 72 points to an opponent. And they fire back as long as it's in regular motion of the season, less than 7 days rest, to a perfect 11-0 to the under. I got 130.5. I'm good with 130. Look, 128.5 is the magic number. So just keep your eyes on it. And I thought about double dipping, but here's where we got to use our research to our advantage. Fanatics has the best first half under. I can't touch it. I won't touch it. I'm not going to do it. We know what they do in my history to my bankroll. That's the benefit of tracking your plays. You can track my plays over at BetStamp on Mikey Money. BetStamp Mikey Money, just like you would expect it to be spelled. And away we go. I know I'm keeping a brisk pace. I'm sorry, you guys. Vela Coots in the house. Mike on Kentucky plus 5.5. I am Vela Coots. It's good to see you. Spoonbet says Banks open at the Garden. Jerry Davis says on UK and hit UK first half. All right. Thomas Maggio is asking about it. Cole in the house says, yo, Mikey, Florida money line. Winnipeg first period under 1.5. Calgary under 6. Calgary first period under 1.5. Toronto first half plus 3.5 in the NBA. Toronto plus 6. Portland first. Man, I like it. I like Portland and Portland. Oak State team total. That's a great look too. You know I like that look. I like the first half. Oak State. You know what? I'm going to try to look at that in the few minutes I have before we go live, because that's been my other favorite spot there, especially with Houston coming off that loss and a trend speaking to the under. Here's my man, Juggler 23 coming through, taking the under when both teams average less than 30 shots a game, hitting at 64%. Maple Leafs, Flames under 6, Kings, Islanders under 6, Senators, Lightning under 5. I like that under 5. I almost pulled the trigger on that set. Man, them Senators have fucked me like 6 different days in a row on the under. And they did it again last night, 5-2. There was no need for them to be disrespectful like that. You could have won that game 3-2. Could have gone to overtime and let me think I had hope. My player prop cashed. Damn it. Okay. Boy, we just scooted right on through. We scooted the chamois on that one. Whoops. Can't skip right on past without giving you the play. Yeah, the TNT special. Now, you know my feeling on TNT spots. We'll talk about it. We'll evaluate it. We'll talk about last week's numbers to put some validation and some data source behind it. I will take the Mavericks. I don't care if the Sixers are hot, and I don't care if the Mavericks are mashing it right now. They got to be pissed about that Luka thing. Celtics and the Cavs. This will open up at a 2. It's gone down to 1.5. It's gone even now. Even since the start of the show, it's moved down another half a point. But you have 57% of the bets and 58% of the cash on the Cavaliers. And the book said, I don't care. If you like minus 1.5, you got to like minus 1. And it's gone from 236 to 239. You have 76% of the bets and 74% of the cash on the over. It's creeping on up to the over. Collectively, across the board, listen. All the trends that we talked about with Boston are going to tell you to fade this team. This is a Boston fade spot. Cleveland's dominant at home, 18-9. Celtics are only 10-13-2 on the road. Cavaliers got themselves a 4-game winning streak and a 4-game cover. They're on their 3rd straight home game. They've been home for 4 of their last 5 games. This will be 5 of their last 6. It's got to be a Cav spot. But look at that line. Celtics off of a double-digit non-cover to the Sixers, 118-110. They didn't cover against the Pelicans on a double-digit spot. They did cover against the Bulls. The Bulls are in trouble themselves. So we'll see what happens with this game, but I got to ride a little. I got to take the Celtics. This is one of those spots where I think everyone looks at this, they go, oh, the double digits and they won, but they didn't cover and you got to fade them. And why is this number 1? Answer me that. Riddle me that. On top of that, you got double ATS revenge for the Boston Celtics. When they're in a double revenge spot, look the fuck out. And they're not only playing anybody, they're playing the number 1 team in the league. I don't see them getting swept in the series. I think this is their opportunity to exact that revenge. I think the fact that we're sitting around a 1 means the books are begging you to take the Cavs. We'll talk about it live as we get rolling on this thing. I'll give you a couple more player props that I want to get involved with, but I'm taking the Celtics. They win this game. This is a big spot for them this is another playoff team. We just talked about the Florida Panthers shifting into playoff gear. Yeah, Cleveland, are they going to continue this ridiculous pace? Like when Golden State Warriors went on that monster run and, Steph Curry was just kind of starting out and they had all the boys. Yeah, you expected him to continue on that run. This is a band of misfit toys in this Cavaliers team, and they're going to fuck around and find out tonight just who the Boston Celtics are. Probably to Nasty Nate's point, it is a Boston Celtics smash spot. We'll evaluate it. I think I'll probably get a same game parlay going in this thing. I think that's going to be the case. I think that's going to be the play. Subhuman coming through with some plays. He likes, look at this. Give him a little DK booster. The old booster chair. Let's go. Juggler 23's got the college play of the night. There we go. That Purdue line was suspect. Purdue off an interstate rival win against Indiana and Iowa. Much better at home. 4-unit play for Juggler 23. You know he likes it at that point. You know he likes that number. That collective exhale is me thinking, do I have to go in there and fucking drop a hammer on those boys? Is that what I have to do? All right, last game on the card. And then we'll talk about this player parlay and get you guys out of here. We got plays to make before we get ready for this live stream. The Lakers and the Clippers, the Battle of Los Angeles. Clippers at their new stadium, though. They're no longer sharing time at the Staples Center or the, what is it called now? The Crypto.com Center. Minus 5.5 for the Clippers has moved to 8.5. I suspect that's largely due to the fact that all those moving parts for the Lakers and they're probably not all going to be ready yet, right? Like, I don't know if people were thinking Luka was going to be playing today. Didn't the dude just get off the plane yesterday? I think that would be a pretty quick turnaround. I think they're going to save him for the big game on Thursday. I don't know that for sure, but there's a pretty significant battle in store on Thursday for them boys. And look, we look at these two teams. I skipped right past the trends for you, or the stats for you guys. 60% of the bets and 55% of the cash are on the Lakers. So the money's coming in, almost a 27,000 ticket count. One of the larger spots on the board tonight. And it's moved 3 points. Red flag if you're thinking Lakers. Numbers gone from 216.5 to 221. You got 97% of the bets, 97% of the cash on the over in this game. I don't know, man. The Clippers at home, they've been an under team. To me, 11-14 to the under at home. When they're in the favorite role, it's kind of split. It's 12-13. They're dominant against the spread at home. Man, I feel like they're 18-7. I feel like we ate every one of those 7 losses. Remember the Clippers were on the shit list like 2 months ago. They've worked themselves off. They've gotten back to form. In the favorite role, they're 17-8 against the spread. So there's reason that these books are begging for that Lakers money, and they're Lakers. So if you give them a better number, you know the West Coast public's going to try to jump all over that. Last but not least, we had a 4-game road trip for the Clippers. Now, traditionally, I believe the toughest place to play after a 4-game road trip is that first game back home. Phoenix, Spurs, Charlotte, Toronto. It wasn't like they had a huge competition out there. Yeah, they lost to Toronto. That was disappointing. We were on Toronto. 115-108, though. That's a 5 spot. That's a Toronto spot. That's like tonight. Might be a Toronto spot. And the Lakers, well, guess what they're doing? They're coming off a massive road trip. So where do we have again? Kind of the toughest place to play. That kind of neutralized each other. They just beat up the Knicks 128-112. They were getting 11 points. They won outright. Big dog. James is probable. Hachimura is probable. Gabe Vincent's probable. Thank goodness we don't have to talk about Anthony fucking Davis anymore. Cam Reddish is doubtful. Christian Wood's out. Maxi Kleber's out. Luke is out. That might be we'll see. I think personally the Mavericks did that to Dodge, having to pay that dude a max contract because they weren't happy that he was a little puffy, as my guy Fanatical Jim would say. All right, look. Let's get right to the brass tacks of this thing. When it comes down to it, the Clippers are 11-0 when they're home as a favorite and they're rested. Sounds nice. 11-0. But they're winning those games by over 20 points a game. Even though it's moved 3 points from the original opening, they're winning by over 20. The Lakers, in a revenge spot, when the total's less than the 236, are 0-12. Did we just have intersecting zeros? I think so. I think we did. We also have another fade spot here when the dog's off a win as a dog of at least 5. That's the Lakers. That's why I referenced that game against the Knicks. They outscored their opponent by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter. You fade their asses. They're fat and happy. They're sassy. They're 36-62 in those places. They're losing against the spread by 9 points a game in those situations. So we're intersecting zeros that tell us to take the Clippers. We see the reverse line movement telling us to take the Clippers. General public's probably not smart enough to realize that, Luke is not playing yet. All those factors busted into our portfolio here to tell us it's a Clipper spot. And that's where I'm rolling with it. I kind of like that under, but I'll just lay the 8. Let's lay the 8. I say that like, I'll just lay the 8. Probably ladder spot. If they lose the game, it's tight. If they win the game, they blow them out. I don't think it's a situation where we're going to be sweating that last minute too. And who the hell knows? LeBron might decide, hey, I'm going to loaf this one. I know it's a TNT game, so he's a media whore. He likes to show up for that shit. But I'm on the Clippers, and I got a parlay. Surprise, surprise! One of those legs is Boost. He's our dude. You know the deal. He's just so goddamn money. Why wouldn't you continue to ride this pony? I mean, come on. Look, he covers all the. He gets the minutes. He's above his average. What we do is we look for the mismatches, and Bam Adebayo's a lot smaller than this dude. Not much more to talk about. 11 or more rebounds, and he's been on a roll. He's firing. That's his number, and we're getting him at 10.5. It's enough. Well, we already talked about him. I feel like we're just going to keep playing him till he dogs us. And sometimes if it gets to 11.5, we might have to start thinking the other way. But 10.5 was the number I locked in there. Then on the other side of things, I went to Kawhi. I'm auditioning players for my top 5, my starting 5. Clippers have won 6 of their last 10 games. They should be firing against this team. He's averaging the minutes. He's getting almost 25 minutes a game, and he's averaging 4.5 rebounds a game. He's got LeBron in the Lake Show coming into their barn now. Clippers barn. No longer splitting spots at the crypto. He's ready to roll. He's got 5 or more rebounds in his last 4 games, 5 of his last 6 games on top of that. Should be ready to go. There's no more Anthony Davis to buckle down with, and Luka won't be playing here. Should be a Kawhi opportunity. This might just be a magic little spot where we tuck in here. It's 2-1. It's 2-1 our money at plus 200. That's how we're going to wrap up the show. Put the bow on this puppy. We got 12 minutes. I will say about 15 minutes to get ready to roll. We get the boys back in here. Jerry Davis thinks it's a LeBron masterclass incoming. So what do you think? He's going to go gas himself out tonight so that when Luka comes out there, Luka can steal the starlight? Or you think he wants to go out there at 40 years old and show Luka, I'm still the head man around these parts. You're going to play with me. I don't play with you. Or you think he's going to go out there and bust up Kawhi in a game that really doesn't matter, where they don't win in a revenge spot? Best thing that could happen for LeBron is they go out there and they go up by 25, 30 points in the third quarter so he doesn't have to play in the fourth. But that ain't going to happen. History shows here the Clippers should beat the shit out of these guys. Now, the caveat being, if the favorite wins the first game, which I'm on the dog, then the dog should win the second game. If the first game goes under, the second game should go over. Well, I think that first game probably finds its way some points. I think we see our boys in Boston get the job done. We'll follow the trend. We'll keep this ride going here. 2-1, though. We got to sneak a parlay in there that's going to play some good cash, and that's the way we're going to wrap her up, you guys. Appreciate everybody rocking with us here. We've got just 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. We're going to be starting here shortly. So go get yourselves your bets placed. Go get yourself a couple of cocktails and get yourselves back here for the start. We'll say 7. We'll put a 7:20 start time on it. 7:20. That's 15 minutes from now. We want to make sure the boys get time to talk about their plays, give their action, and then we'll talk about this game first, the Celtics and the Cavs. And then we'll roll into everything else that there's going to be action galore tonight. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a show tonight. Tell you what, it's going to be a masterclass here, Jerry Davis. It's going to be a masterclass of live streaming. The Sports Money crew is ready to go. I'm fired up. I hope you guys have a great night. And I hope we see you guys here in just a few minutes. Cheers to everybody. Good luck with those bets. Let's stay positive. Let's win some money. And let's beat these bookies on our way to cash in victories here. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Thanks, everybody.